You see her like she was built for spotlights, oval to heart-shaped face, fair skin that seems to catch light even in shade light blue. Almond eyes sharpened by subtle winged eyeliner, a straight small nose, defined cheekbones, bright red full lips that feel like a signature stamp. Soft side-swept bangs framing light brown blonde hair, a delicate jawline. Geometric earrings swinging like tiny punctuation marks. And it's so easy to assume school must have been easy for her, like she walked through hallways already winning. But the clickbait truth is this. The most polished pop icon in the world carries the nervous system of someone who learned early what it feels like to be left out. And she didn't become unstoppable because school was kind. She became unstoppable because school could be cruel in the quiet ways that stick to you. Being bullied isn't always one dramatic scene where everyone sees it and a teacher steps in. Sometimes it's smaller and sharper, like laughter that stops when you walk up, like invitations that never come, like the sense that friendships are a locked room and you're outside listening. When you're a kid, that kind of exclusion doesn't feel like a phase. It feels like evidence, like proof that something about you is wrong, and once your brain learns that lesson, it starts collecting more proof even when none is there. That's the first turn in her story, not a trophy moment, but a habit. The habit of noticing every detail around her so she can predict what people will do next, reading faces, scanning rooms, calculating where to sit, learning how to smile without inviting the wrong kind of attention, learning how to keep your voice steady even when your stomach is sinking. It's survival training disguised as school days. The second turn is being different in a way that people can sense. She was intense, earnest, obsessed with music and storytelling, the kind of kid who actually feels things out loud, and kids can be brutal to sincerity because sincerity makes them uncomfortable. It's easier to mock it than to admit they don't have it. So the teasing lands where it always lands, on the things you love most. Because if they can make you embarrassed of your own passion, they can shrink you. And shrinking becomes a routine. You learn to edit yourself before others can. You learn to keep your excitement quiet. You learn to pretend you don't care, even when you care more than anything. Another turn comes when she realizes there's one place nobody can interrupt. The space inside your head, and if you can build worlds there, you can survive anywhere. So she starts writing. Not in a glamorous future star way, but in a desperate way, like putting words on paper can drain poison out of a day. At first, it's a coping mechanism, a private escape route, then it becomes a weapon. Because a song is a place you control when everything else feels like it's controlling you. If you can't win the hallway, you can win the page. That's the moment the stakes shift. It stops being just about getting through school. It becomes about identity. Because bullying doesn't just hurt, it tries to rewrite who you are allowed to be. It tells you you're too much, too weird, too intense, too different, and the danger is if you believe it, you disappear. That's why the later polish makes sense. The eyeliner wing, the red lips, the exactness of her image, because it reads like someone who decided very deliberately that nobody else gets to define her ever again. Midpoint twist. The pain doesn't vanish when success arrives, it mutates. People think fame is a cure, but fame is just a bigger room with more eyes. And the brain that learned to scan for danger in school will scan the internet the same way. You don't stop being judged, you just get judged by millions. And the old outsider feeling can survive inside a stadium, because it's not about how many people know you. It's about whether you feel safe being yourself. That's why the cool kid fantasy is so misleading. Coolness isn't a number. It's a nervous system that believes it belongs. And if your nervous system learned belonging was conditional, you'll keep working like you have to earn your right to exist. Another turn is the realization that bullies are not always obvious villains. Sometimes they look like friends who slowly pull away. Sometimes they're a group chat you're not in. Sometimes they're eye rolls when you speak. Sometimes they're silence. And silence can be louder than insults because it leaves you no target, no closure, just that hollow feeling that you are tolerated at best. That's the dark part most people miss, because it's not cinematic, it's psychological. It trains you to perform to earn belonging. It trains you to believe you must be exceptional just to be accepted. And when you grow up with that training, you don't stop performing when you get applause, you just get better at it. She turns that pain into structure, awkwardness into imagery, rejection into hooks. And suddenly, the feelings that made her lonely become the exact feelings that make millions of people feel seen. It's not revenge, it's alchemy, taking what was meant to shrink you and making it so big the world has to sing it back. But there is a twist inside the triumph. The same skill that saves you can trap you. If writing about pain is what brings you love, you start fearing what happens when you're okay. You start wondering whether you're only valuable when you're bleeding into art. That's why the outsider thread matters so much, because it's not just a childhood chapter, it becomes the engine, the thing that keeps you moving even after you've already won, because winning doesn't heal the part of you that remembers being laughed at for liking something too much. And then the aha arrives clean and sharp. Being bullied didn't make her special, but it trained her to pay attention, to narrate feelings with precision, to build a world where the kid who feels weird in the cafeteria can finally feel understood. And that is why her success doesn't feel like an accident. It feels like a survival instinct that went global. Like and subscribe for more and comment this. Do you think the biggest glow up is changing your look? Or changing your confidence? And what's one thing you wish you could tell your younger self in school?